So you're probably sick of hearing about goals, but here's a challenge for you to keep in mind this year. Either find a new hobby or revisit old ones. Given that many of us are still very much affected by the pandemic, I'm assuming that we've already dabbled in new hobbies and might have even run out of ideas. I'm hoping that this will at least remind you to search again. If your lifestyle has not been affected that much and you're still busy as ever, I still think you should be taking steps to implement a new hobby. And I guess I feel like this is becoming a pattern on this channel, but the reasons can be divided into two categories: practical creativity and personal well-being. First, practical creativity. I've made a uselessly long video on this topic before, but I feel like what we praise as creativity is often not as novel as we make it seem like. We say creativity is thinking outside the box, and I believe the type of creativity that actually moves people and sells is very near to the fringe of said box. And the easiest way to achieve this is to combine two or more fields that are already familiar to the public. For example, Hot Ones can be described as a talk show combined with elements of a game show and maybe even mukbang. Casey's vlogs intercut the signature vlog shot with time lapses and shots of himself entering and exiting a scene. Electric cars infuse the world of modern software and technology with the history of automobiles. Though these accomplishments are undeniably great, I think we can see that the ideas alone are not all that groundbreaking and imaginative. And that is what a hobby can introduce. It provides a perspective and skill set that your peers might not have access to, and this can give you an edge when it comes to your creative work. For example, anyone who had an interest in music most likely had an easier time understanding how tempo and cutting to the beat works in the context of video editing. I've been so envious of people who have a background in graphic design as of late, since I want to incorporate more of that into my videos. That being said, it's not always these hard skills, it can be soft skills too. If your hobby is a team-based activity, for example, those skills can translate into how you interact with subcontractors or clients. Or perhaps you might pick up a specific type of problem-solving method in whatever field you've invested your time into, which allows you to deal with a logistical problem that somebody else consistently struggles with. And even if you don't get any of these things from a new hobby right away, at the very least you're increasing the scope of your knowledge and experience. If you pick up baking and are later asked by somebody to edit a baking video, having the basic techniques and terms down will make the project that much easier for you. A few examples. I remember having to edit a video related to basketball and barely knowing any names of NBA players. I also had a project where the revisions all had to do with being sensitive to the culture I was capturing. Not understanding the language didn't help either. So of course these are challenges that existed for me, but might not have affected somebody else who was more familiar with the subject matter or the culture in question. Next up, personal well-being. This section might come across as obvious to you, but I feel like it's one of those things that we must constantly remind ourselves of. I was working on another video and I realized that I made nearly 100 YouTube videos last year. On top of this, I prepared for school, took a course, and began building my network in the academic space. I also ended up having to freelance to make enough income to get by and prepare for the cost of school. And of course, I wanted to spend an ample amount of time with loved ones and new friends. And I know I'm not the only one in this situation. A lot of people in this creative space live with negative time. There's so much to be done, so much more we can be doing in so little time. I think we all deprive ourselves of downtime. We may be physically at rest, but our minds never truly shut off. And this can often steal us from whatever moment we're in, resulting in strained relationships, subpar execution, or pent-up stress. And though this problem of negative time will not be solved by a new hobby, I think at the very least the resulting issues can be alleviated. The novelty of a newfound interest brings a certain level of excitement and joy. It's a stronger and more energizing distraction from the rest of the things we have to do, which might allow us to actually shut off our mental to-do lists and just enjoy this moment of newfound interest. The other problem that comes with negative time is the shock of what we've missed out on. This might look like strained relationships due to your absence, or like in my case, the realization that you have no more hobbies. You barely do anything that is unrelated to your creative work and goals. You have robbed yourself of a plethora of experiences in the name of achieving said goals, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But for me, it was just a shock to see how much time has passed and how little I have experienced. I really think my quality of life and my capacity for expression and knowledge will be greatly improved with the addition of a few hobbies over time. In short, I just think I'll be much happier for it. And to be honest, I don't know what my hobby will be yet. For now, adjusting to full-time school and this new project and exciting project that I've taken on has been interesting enough. But I know that I still need to add some other things to my daily life, actual hobbies, actual routines and activities, and little smaller memories. Point is, don't feel pressured to find something or anything right away. For some people, it might just be being more open to new experiences and naturally, eventually, finding a new hobby. Anyways, as always, thank you for your time and hope everybody is healthier than I was last week. Be well. Bye.